Welcome to ET English, the unique English language learning feature of Education Times. This recording is brought to you by Panthea Gunathilaka, the founder of CLEON, Academy for Speech, Drama and Leadership. The Education Times comes to you every week with the Sunday Times, a leading publication of Vijaya Newspapers Limited. ET English introduces a unique way of learning English through stories. It has a short novel and also a picture story, both of which are being published in episodes every week. All the lessons and activities that are given in the feature are from these two stories. Many English scholars accept that when you learn a language through stories, you remember them better. Further, the picture story will complement this by adding the visual component as well, where it will help the readers create vivid images in their minds, helping them remember those dialogues and the words through these incidents. Today, we bring you episode 2 from the Sunday Times, 20th September 2015. Now we're going to bring the audio version of this feature, where you can listen to the stories and the lessons. First the picture story, secondly the novel, and finally the lessons. Both the stories in this feature are based on stories from the short story book by Mr. Asghar Hussain and published by Vijayatayapa Publications. To get the best out of this feature, we suggest that you get a copy of the Education Times and also a dictionary. Also, it will help if you read the feature once or twice on your own. At the same time, try to get the correct pronunciation by listening to audio attentively and repeatedly and trying to read it after every dialogue, emulating the voices that you hear. We shall start now. The next component, and all because of a fag, based on a story by Asghar Hussain. Illustrations by Anton B. Pereira. Ramani and Ravi are whispering sweet nothings to each other.
It's almost 2 hours now since I had my last fag. Excuse me, dear. I'll have a quick ciggy and be back soon.
Be careful, Ravi. Smoking is banned in public places.
This damn anti-smoking campaign. Did we vote these politicos to ban smoking? Oh, at last. I can smoke here. At least this eating house has the courage to blow smoke against the face of law.
Across the table sat 2 uncouth characters, a hefty man with a handlebar moustache and a thin fellow who grinned to display his yellowish teeth.
What are these rascals up to? What do you want, sir?
The short story taken from The Mirror of Paradise, by Azga Hussain. Episode 2. Continuation of A Good Medical Boy. It was then that I learned he had given a false name to the broker. He had the southern name Pyrrhus, but had claimed to be a Dunavilla. The matchmaker's eyes had apparently lit up on hearing this. It wasn't hard to figure out why. After all, family names like Dunavilla, Rambukwella, and Unambua are highly regarded among the Kandyan Govi Buddhist. By using such a name, my friend felt we would be treated with great hospitality when visiting homes with the broker. A medical student was good enough, but one with a name like that was a prize catch. Now, before getting to our first visit, I must say something about Rajpal. Like me, he came from a family in the south. His father was a successful businessman. But Rajpal had, after entering university, got drawn to socialist ideals. By the end of his second year, he was considered a promising student. He had a good grasp of the various political theories. He could speak at length on dialectical materialism of Marx and address even a single listener as if lecturing a large audience. He also made a habit of airing his views when he went home. This had angered his father, who shouted, "You'll end up with one of those Juki girls who stitch underwears for foreign women." He also cut Rajpal's monthly allowance. He said that when undergrads are given too much, they take things for granted and let foolish ideas enter their heads. This filled my friend with resentment. He had to be stint on expenses and borrowed money from batchmates whenever he could. Before our visit to Kandy with the broker, I felt Rajpal's motives went beyond a great feast. For some reason, I suspected he also wanted to deceive those with a Bergevist mentality. On one occasion, I even heard him ridicule parents who want their daughters to mate with doctors and engineers. On the appointed day, we skipped lectures and strolled out the campus gates. Bandara was waiting for us at the bus stand. He smiled genially when Rajpal introduced me as Harendra from the engineering faculty and said I will be accompanying them. It was around 10:30 when we got down from the bus in Kandy town. As we walked towards the clock tower, I couldn't help noticing my friend's jaunty stride. I also caught him glimpsing at his reflection in the windows of passing cars. He was certainly dressed for the occasion. Normally, he looked sloppy, but now he was quite smart. He wore a well-ironed, long-sleeved white shirt and beige trousers. He had also shaved off his stubble. He looked perfect, from his neatly combed hair to the shine on his shoes. From near the clock tower, we took a three-wheeler to our destination. On the way, the broker decided the proposed girl as fair and pretty, with a round face like the moon. He also said Rajpal could expect a substantial dowry. Let us start with the activities. Activity number 1. The first one. The pronoun I in the opening sentence refers to Rajpal, Bandara, or the speaker? The correct answer is the speaker. The second one, the word he, which is another pronoun, in the opening sentence could refer to Rajpal, Bandara, or the speaker. In this case, it refers to Rajpal. The third one, the real surname of the speaker's friend is Peiris, Bandara, Dunuvilla. As we read at the start, it is Peiris. Moving on to number 4, the marriage broker is Peiris, Bandara, or Dunuvilla. The correct answer is Bandara. Question number 5 in activity 1. Rajpal introduced the speaker as Sumana, Herat, Harendra to the broker. We see that he is introduced as Harendra. Moving on to activity 2, vocabulary enrichment. We come across 20 words in this episode. The first one, claimed, which means, or in simple words, can be declared, stated, alleged. Figure out means to understand. The third one, ideals. Ideals means principles, standards, and morals. Theories, the fourth word, means ideas, notions, and principles. Moving on to the fifth word, allowance, which means payment, grant, stipend. The sixth one is stint, meaning be stingy with, limit, skimp on. The seventh word, genially, means amiably, warmly, cordially. The eighth word, jaunty stride. It's a phrase and it means to have a carefree walk. The ninth word is sloppy, which can have the same meaning as messy, chaotic, and untidy. The 10th one, destination, journey's end or a terminus. The 11th one, apparently, gives the meaning seemingly, evidently. The 12th one, hospitality, shows friendliness, warmth. Moving on to the 13th word, promising, means to be talented, gifted, brilliant. Airing is the 14th word. It means telling, exposing, divulging. The 15th one, resentment. Resentment means anger, bitterness, hatred. Ridicule. Ridicule means mockery, scorn, to tease. The 17th word, glimpsing. Seeing, glancing, catching sight. Reflection means the image, the echo, or the replication. 19th word, stubble. Stubble denotes beard, mustache, growth. And the 20th word, substantial, means considerable, ample, sizable. Activity 3, we have language expression and its possible applications. The first one, excuse me dear, I'll have a quick ciggy and come back. You could use this sort of expression in applications such as, excuse me dear, I'll have a quick wash and come back. Or, I'll have a quick snack and come back. Or else you could say, I'll have a quick bath and come back. Again taken from the picture story, we find the language expression, it's almost 2 hours since I had my last fag. You could use it in your own examples as, it's almost 6 months since we had our last meeting. It's almost 3 months since we had our last get-together. The third language expression, smoking is banned in public places. For your application or your use, you could say, spitting is prohibited in public places, or no smoking in public places. The fourth expression, what are those rascals up to? You can say in simple language in day-to-day use, what are you up to? What is the new accountant up to? The last language expression, what do you want, sir? You could simply say, what would you like to have, sir? Activity 4 is to find a similar word from the text for the words given below. We come across 9 words, and for each one I will be telling you the similar word from the text. The first word, untrue, means false. The similar word we find is false. The second word, sufficient, is the same as enough. The third word, entrepreneur, means a businessman. Understanding in the text refers to considered. Silly means foolish. Moving on to the sixth word, intentions. The similar word is motives. The seventh word, banquet, means a feast. The eighth one, escorting, means to accompany. And the last word, anticipate, means suspected. Activity 5 are statements which can either be true or false, or not given in the box. The answers could come in 3 forms. Let's look at the first one. Rajpal had the southern surname Peris, but had claimed to be a Dunuvilla. This is true. The second one, family names like Dunuvilla, Rambukwella and Unambua are highly regarded among the southern Govigama Buddhist. It's false because in the text we see not southern Govigama but Kandy Govigama Buddhist. The third one, the speaker's friend Rajpal claimed to be a Dunuvilla because he felt that he would be treated with great hospitality when visiting homes with the broker. This was true. The fourth one, Rajpal's father was an eminent doctor in the country. It's false because his father was a businessman. Question number 5. Rajpal's mother was a teacher of English. We do not find the right answer to this, as it does not say whether his mother was a teacher of English or had any other profession. The sixth statement, Rajpal and the speaker went to visit the family with the broker. This is true. And the last statement, Rajpal, his friend and the broker went to the proposed girl's house in a 3-wheeler. That answer is true. Only statement number 5 does not have a true or false answer. Activity 6. Once again we have language expressions, and these are taken from the short story A Good Medical Boy. The first expression, it was then that I learned he had given a false name. And you could use it in examples such as, it was then that I learned I had been taken for a ride. The second expression, It wasn't hard to figure out why. In your own examples in day-to-day life, you can say, it wasn't easy to figure out the picture. The third one, he had a good grasp of the various political theories. And the possible application here, she had a good grasp of the know-how. The fourth expression, we skipped lectures and strolled out the campus gates. You could use it on your own as we skipped lunch and continued with our work. The last language expression, he was certainly dressed for the occasion. You can say, he was well groomed for the event. Activity 7, the last activity for today's lesson. This concentrates on adjectives from two types of text. And as we know, an adjective is a word that describes a noun. 18 adjectives are given. The first one, Southern surname. The second, family names. The third one, Kandyan Govi Buddhist. Fourth one, with great hospitality. The fifth one, a medical student. Sixth one, a successful businessman. 7, socialist ideals. 8, a promising student. A good grasp is another adjective we find. And number 10, on the dialectical materialism. Number 11, a large audience. Number 12, foreign women. Number 13, foolish ideas. A good feast is number 14. The 15th adjective phrase, a substantial dowry. 16, sweet nothings. 17, last fag. And the last adjective type you meet, public places. Those are the 7 activities for today's lesson. Dear listeners, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to our recordings. You're welcome to give us your feedback and suggestions on the phone numbers and the email address given in the ET English feature in the Education Time section. We meet again next week with episode 3. The recording was brought to you by Panthea Gunathilaka, the founder of Cleon Academy for Speech, Drama and Leadership. Until then, goodbye and happy learning.